I never thought a single coin could change the way I saw the world. That night began like any other. Ordinary, forgettable, almost boring. I had spent the day wandering the city, drifting from one street to another, killing time in convenience stores, staring at neon signs, and listening to the hum of traffic. By the time the sky turned black, I was tired but restless, unwilling to go home just yet. Around 7 or 8, I stepped out of a small convenience store, the kind with flickering fluorescent lights and a cashier who barely looked up. The street outside was unusually quiet, the kind of silence that presses against your ears until you start hearing your own heartbeat. That's when I saw her. A little girl stood across the street, no older than 8 or 9, her hair damp and tangled, her dress faded and torn. She raised her hand timidly and whispered, "Spare a coin?" Her voice was soft, almost swallowed by the silence. I don't know why, but something about her unsettled me. Maybe it was the way her eyes didn't quite meet mine, or the way her figure seemed too still, like a photograph pasted into reality. I walked past her, fumbling in my pocket, but before I could decide whether to give her anything, I felt it. A strange sensation at the back of my head. Not pain, not yet, more like a click or a gust of wind brushing against my skull. I turned around instantly. She was gone. The street was empty, the silence heavier than before. My stomach twisted. I stood there scanning the shadows, waiting for her to reappear. But nothing, just the faint smell of rain in the air. And then, as if on cue, the sky opened. Heavy rain poured down, drenching me in seconds. I ran, desperate for shelter, until a passing jeepney slowed enough for me to climb aboard. The ride home was a blur of wet clothes, fogged windows, and the pounding of rain. Yet my mind refused to let go of that moment. The girl, the touch, the disappearance. By the time I reached home, I was trembling, not from the cold, but from the unease gnawing at me. I couldn't shake the feeling that something had happened back there, something I wasn't supposed to understand. My gut screamed at me, louder than reason, louder than exhaustion. I sat in my room, staring at the wall, replaying the scene over and over. The girl's eyes, the coin she never received, the click at the back of my head. My heart raced as if I were still standing in that street. And then it hit me. Not the memory, the realization. That moment wasn't just strange, it was final. A goosebump-inducing truth clawed its way into my mind. I hadn't walked away from that street at all. My eyes, my vision, my very perception, they were nothing more than a camera recording the last thing I would ever see. The girl hadn't vanished. The rain hadn't come to wash away my fear. What really happened was far simpler, far darker. Someone had been waiting in that quiet street, patient and silent, watching me. The click I felt wasn't wind, it was the swing of a bat, the crushing blow to the back of my skull. I never made it home. The ride I remembered, the walls I stared at, the bed I thought I collapsed into. They were illusions, fragments of a dying mind resetting itself in denial. My killer had already claimed me. The girl was never a beggar. She was bait, a distraction, a phantom conjured by the last sparks of my consciousness. The truth is, I died on that street. And yet here I am telling you this story. My words are the echo of a moment that should have ended in silence. My voice is the residue of a life cut short, replaying itself like a broken tape. So if you're hearing me now, if you're reading these words, remember this. The next time you walk down a quiet street and see a child asking for a coin, don't stop. Don't look, don't listen, because the coin never falls, and neither did I.